Hey everyone, we are your YouTube teachers for today. This is Mike from Mike Cole.
I'm Sean from Sean Pablo.
Last week we looked at your K-food videos, and this week we're going to be looking at your new submissions.
We're excited, and you guys should be too. We're going to teach you everything about editing, how to film, making titles and thumbnails, and everything about being an online content creator.
So last week we did a survey on KoreanNet's live chat to learn some interesting things about Korean culture.
Number 1. Among the habits of Korean people, what shocks you the most? They sit on the floor or they sleep on the floor. They all have skincare routines. They are 1 year old at birth. They have a lot of side dishes.
So for me personally, it's like, it doesn't shock me that they sleep on the floor, but it's like, I've done it before and it's hard.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, like it's hard.
Whoa.
It's hard for me to sleep on the floor.
Yeah. Sometimes my lower back hurts and it's like I can do it for an hour or 2 or 3, but the whole night, it's pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, it's brutal. It's like, I don't know how people actually make it through the whole night. Number 2, what Korean words do foreigners love? Ne, kimchi, daehyun, sado.
What do you like?
Bro, when I first moved here, I was saying ne like 24/7 because I didn't understand what anybody was saying. And so I just nod and smile. And just like ne, ne, ne.
Well, I say some Korean slang I kind of like hol. Like
That's a
say
good one, yeah.
hol. Number 3, what Korean word looks the most beautiful to foreigners?
That is a good question. What word do you think is the most beautiful to you? I'm gonna say something lame.
Go ahead.
사랑.
Oh, that is lame.
It's actually just love. Like, I think it's a beautiful sounding word, right?
Or I like 장미. 장미. That's a cool word for rose.
That's a really good one. Yeah, that is a good word.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of beautiful, it's time to review your beautiful video submissions. Let's explain the rules for Up and Down before we get started. So we will pick a topic for the week and you will make a video on that topic. We will choose one personal favorite video to compete with each other on Up and Down.
While watching the video, if we see anything praiseworthy, we will raise the up sign. And if we see anything that needs to improve, we will raise the down sign. The video with the best score will win this week's Up and Down.
And now we'll reveal the theme for today's episode. Boom, K-interviews.
We received a lot of K-interview videos from people wanting to be on the show. Here are some highlights from those videos.
Hai, Fainoda Isi. Kita akan mencoba membahas seputar perki paling rendah. Tentu itu bisa paling. Jumpa di episode selanjutnya. Dadah.
Ngapain sih lo Lihat is at the time that we wore hanbok.
What's up, everyone? Got the correct answer, so I say you can do our scary. Yes, Sandra is already doing the.
안녕하십니까, 여러분. She looks for naengmyeon, which is a Korean dish made up of stir-fried octopus, roasted.
Bibimbap here. Mashup Fridays. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like.
Hola, bienvenidos a mi canal, yo soy Angie Claudi, a un lugar que se llama Glendale. El restaurante tiene nombre como Korean Barbecue. Coreano en la universidad y su profesor es coreano.
Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum, welcome back with me, Deepa.
Wow, you guys sent us some awesome videos. And now we're gonna have to choose our personal favorites to go head to head and up and down.
We will now watch these videos to decide which video is better. Let's start with Michael's choice.
This is my video.
What's up, everyone?
What's up? The framing. That's a lot of headspace. That's a lot of headspace.
True.
And I feel like there's somewhat of an echo, like something with the audio.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if they're mic'd. All right, I kind of like this. So it's like an interview game show. That's a dub. We're gonna give you an up for that. I'm gonna give that probably both just because it's kind of an overused thing, but I enjoy watching them. Okay, so we had to zoom in. So okay, we got to change an angle.
Okay, so
I also saw graphics in there.
That's
Bam.
good. That's always good.
You keep that attention up.
Yeah, right.
Oh, see, there you go, right there, sweat bubble.
That's a bubble.
And the dog.
Yeah.
Hey. And we had a crop in. Nice. The font is a little tough to read, so I'm gonna have to give that a down though. I can tell that he did some research in these questions, so that's good.
Yeah,
Definitely, if you do interviews, you better sure have done your research,
for sure. Oh, absolutely. I've definitely
right?
had that problem a few times. So right here, like they're talking about why they chose the answer that they chose. And since the background is so plain and in blue, like with this kind of video, they're talking about chilies. Why not add like a whole shot of chilies and it's enlarging?
Yeah.
Or like a film B-roll of chilies.
Yeah.
That would make it a lot more interesting to watch, I think.
Yeah, I would get that a down. B-roll, keeping your attention, right?
Absolutely.
And just changing it up, like help the audience visualize what you want them to see, right?
Like they're talking about kimchi right now. Like why not like plop in some kimchi? Okay.
Feel...
Got a little camera change. That's good.
Okay. So we got a slow zoom in.
That's good.
Get that up. Nice. I would say I'm gonna have to give this a down. As much as I love hearing their side commentary, it also makes the video drag. Again, big shout out to actually doing research and knowing these questions and these answers.
Yeah. That's a plus.
That's a plus.
Looks
That's
good.
a plus. That was good. Okay, add an image.
Yeah. Images are good. There we
Nice.
go.
Pictures.
I'm gonna give one down. The energy and their voice is all the same level. Like, if you're doing a game show like this and you're the host, you should be like, so next question. You know, you gotta like go up and down. Like, it's more exciting that way. Everything seems really like one level.
So first off, awesome try. Great job going for your first vlog, right? I would say one of the biggest things to work on is there's a lot of headspace in the shot. You can see just from here to here, there is space. It's just nothing. And I think that if you were to tilt down the camera and even center the table, that will improve the video immensely.
Yeah, these guys, if they're just starting out and this is one of their first videos, it's really good. Obviously, he put a lot of preparation into the video. You can see that he's not a lazy guy. He thought about some things, the questions. There's a lot of positive things going on here. Yeah, well the thing is, if it's a panel, and you watch any professional Korean TV shows that are panels, there's multiple cameras, and if you're just starting out, maybe you only have one camera, but everyone has a smartphone. Visually, if you're just stuck on this one take, it can be a bit boring, especially if it's this long, 18 minutes.
Or even if I wonder if you were to shoot at 4K and raise the resolution, you know, of the overall image, then when you crop in, you'll have at least 3 different angles.
Yeah, you could zoom in, right? You get those funny facial expressions. That's a good point, 4K.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your zooms. And like we said earlier, the camera was pretty static, but then when it started to zoom, it almost like caught my attention again. So if I started to fade, boom, it zoomed, and I was like, oh, something's happening. And I think that's really important to have with the video, especially the longer it goes, you want to keep that attention high. And so every time you switch something, you change something, that is going to keep your audience just seconds longer. And you want to do that as much as possible, or at least keep their attention as much as possible. So great job on the zooms. Overall, great job on your first shot on doing an interview. It was a funky twist on an interview, and we enjoyed it overall in reviewing it. So awesome job, keep it going, and there's a lot of potential here, so don't stop.
Now it's time for my pick of the week.
안녕하십니까 여러분. 저는 K-스타 뉴스의 카트리나입니다.
Give her
오늘은
up.
날씨를 확인하겠습니다.
Yeah, the graphics are good.
Oh yeah.
There's movement. She cropped herself in. These are all great things.
And it doesn't look cheap either.
Yeah.
Cheap cropping. This is really good.
이 날씨는
Korean's pretty good too.
시전
She's funny. I think this girl's kind of funny. She's got a good personality.
Nice intro.
Yeah.
Hey. Nice. You included your Instagram and Facebook in there.
Okay. Sounds a little bit not so good. It's kind of hard to hear you.
We're gonna interview. It was a long intro.
Yeah,
it's a very long intro.
Ooh, that's a great B-roll. That's an amazing B-roll. Look at that.
Up for B-roll.
Yeah, that rocks. Okay, I like that. She's gotten like adding her personality.
Yeah, again, awesome job in just constant transition. We're just moving from something to something else.
It's good. You got the Ken Burns zoom in. That's awesome.
Ken Burns.
Ken Burns.
That's a thumbs up for that statement.
Right.
I agree.
It's funny because now, as a YouTuber, someone who watches YouTube a lot, I'm starting to feel like I want to click away a little bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Did you use a sound effect? Boom. And footage of Korea. Nice. Just don't take too fast, because then we don't get a chance to really see what's happening.
Once again, it's Cat Style. Annyeong!
It's cool. She's got a great personality. Great
Oh
personality.
yeah. Oh yeah. I love the feel, the style. She has like a voice in her video.
You're doing so many things right. You have so many good details. You put in a lot of effort. You just got a little bit more to go, and try to get the interviews this time if you do another interview video, because that's what we clicked on the video for, interview.
I don't know if this is your first video or one of your first few, but this video was better than a lot of other YouTube videos I've seen from people who've been doing it for a while.
For sure.
But other than that, you got something going.
One of the things that I really liked about this video was the B-roll. There were both pictures that zoomed in with the Ken Burns effect, and especially this one with the samgyeopsal. You can see it's moving, it's in the action. That's what a real Korean restaurant looks like. The point of putting like food in a video, especially B-roll, we want to know what it tastes like, what it looks like. It's supposed to get us salivating, And I think this kind of B-roll really does a good job of that. So, excellent job.
So I felt that the intro was just a little long. It was kind of made up of 3 different parts from what it seemed like. We had the beginning with the weather and the talking, and then we had like an actual intro. And then after that, then you started to introduce your topic. And so it took about a minute and 45 seconds finally getting into the video. And that minute and 40 seconds is very crucial to actually keeping someone's attention, because if they don't see what they clicked for, they can immediately like, why did I click this? This is not what I wanted. And then they go to another video that will give them what they want.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you want to give the audience what they want very quickly and not stall too long.
One last thing that I really liked was her personality. She had a sense of humor. She would relay the information, then make like a small, not too long, but a little personal comment about that information. And this is what's gonna set you apart from other creators, is that extra spice. That's you. She's like made a little joke about the Korean barbecue. It was like a little dorky, a little cute, but it's like her. Like, we love that. So
she was very genuine. And I think that was the word that popped up in my head as I was listening to her and she was talking, was the word genuine. And you want to keep that, because like Sean said, it's going to set you apart from many other YouTubers. And there's going to be a lot of people who do what you do, but your personality is what's going to make you shine above the rest.
Thank you so much for your submission. Now we're going to round out the scores and find who's the winner.
So we rounded up the scores, and our winner is
Katrina from K-Style Movies. Congratulations. Woo! She's got a great personality, right?
She has a really great personality.
Yeah, she's funny, and her B-roll was amazing. She had tons of effects. She had so many good things going for her. I think she's off to a really good YouTube start.
I really look forward to seeing her name appear on my search page, as well as just hearing about her.
All right.
Yeah.
Right on. Good job, Katrina. Now we're going to answer some questions that you guys sent us over the week. You want to start us off, Mike?
I would love to start us off.
All right.
Number 1. When filming interviews, what are the basic angles? How many angles should I use? For the interviews I've done, and even for some of the interviews that I've seen you do as well, there's more of a 2-shot. So it's just you as well as the person in it. A lot of it is mid. So I've seen from the knees up with a little bit of space for the head, or the waist up, depending on how close you are. Also, I've seen in a lot of other interviews as well, they use that type of angle. And if there's, if you want to cut in, then you have a second camera, then there's either close up, where you're doing from the shoulder with a little bit of head space.
All right, I'll do the next one. What kind of shot should I use for the intro? That's a good question. If you're doing interviews, I think a really good place to start is to take a highlight of the interview, really interesting 5 to 10 seconds, put that at the very beginning so you can hook people. It's like your most interesting question, the most shocking answer, it makes you go like, wow. So you want to see more of the video.
All right, so now number 3. The shots look too bright when I film outdoors because of sunlight. What should I do? The easy answer is try not to go to where there's too much sun. But there's also other things you can do. One, make sure that you have an ND filter if you're using a camera. Two, also make sure your ISO is not jacked up and your camera's not taking in too much light.
All right, next question is, how can I effectively record voices when filming? I got two quick answers. One, get a shotgun mic if you're indoors or you're in a quiet area. Shotgun mic is good for 2, 3, 4 people or a group of people. It's like it functions in like a cone. It gets everything in that area. If you're in the city center, which I often am in my interviews, there's cars going by, there's motorcycles, people walking by. I would get a wireless mic. Sony makes a really good wireless mic. It's a bit expensive, but it is worth it. It really zones in on that close sound. So yeah, these two are my tips.
Right, so for number 5, how do I film and record voices without noise? And if we do have noise, what can I do to edit them out? My easy answer to that is whenever you do film something, make sure that you film in a place that has the least amount of noise as possible. There's less people. And then also be aware if you're inside and the walls can actually hurt you because of echoing. And it's kind of hard to deal with that in post because then it's going to alter your audio in some way or some fashion. So the best thing to do is try to avoid it.
Question 6.
Ooh, final question.
All right. I want to make transition effects. What are some websites I can use as reference? If I do make them on my own, what editing programs are good? I use Final Cut Pro. There's plenty of preset transitions in there that are fine. If you want to get like really fancy stuff, I would recommend using like Fiverr.com and outsourcing this to like an animator.
I've downloaded things from Motion FX before. Okay. It's a little pricey, but then also don't neglect in-camera transitions as well, right? Knowing how to do a transition while you're in your camera and then just matching it well when you edit is such a good skill to know. And like if you just want to do a whip pan, learn how to do that in camera, and there's so many tutorials online to learn how to do that, so do not neglect those. So we've taken a look at your videos, but we've also created some videos in the interview category to serve as model examples.
Now you can take a turn to see if our videos are good or not. Oh yeah. So this video, the topic is really relevant to Koreans. Every Korean person is interested in Korean habits I've developed while living in Korea, asking foreigners. So it doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl, if you're young or old, you're Korean, that's enough to relate to this. So from the beginning, the topic is relatable to everybody in Korea.
This young lady first?
Yeah, so leading with like attractive people, interesting looking people, piercings, dyed hair, very pretty or handsome. Obviously it's visually interesting. Raise engagement and make them not click away from the video.
Because there's a good amount of videos I wish I would have had more B-roll, because again, it keeps the audience's attention.
Yeah. You just interviewing tons of people, the background is changing all the time. So it's another thing you don't have to worry about.
Another possible participants right there.
If there's nothing there, then you kind of switch to the next question. But if what they're saying is like, okay, tell me more. So you got to react, kind of up the energy so they can meet you at that level, you know. Obviously, yeah, if you have more crew and more camera people, it's making more visually interesting. But we're talking about like creators starting out, so that's why I picked this. This is kind of like a year or two ago. Sure. So the reason I picked this video is because the topic is clear, the audience is clear, and that's it. That's the strength of the street interview. I didn't add any complicated B-roll, anything like that, which you could and should. But when you're just starting, start with the fundamentals first, you know? Get the good topic, get the good basics. Then you can kind of make it better from there. Something that I really believe, especially when people are just starting out, is you got to look at your data. Okay, so you do a bunch of experiments and this works, this doesn't work. This works, this doesn't work. So this video did really well. As I stated before, it's relevant to Koreans. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. If you're Korean and you see foreigners behaving like you're interested in it, right? So if this video is working, now I can do videos that are similar, okay? What are some Korean things that I like? What are some things that shocked me in Korea? Now you can kind of add variations to this with the same audience. Or you can go and do this video part 2 or part 3 or part 4. And you can make it better every time. So this is the beauty of the street interview is there are some challenges, but once you have this kind of data and you got your topics down, then you can really continue to improve on it.
So, did you guys enjoy our videos? What did you think? We definitely enjoyed watching your videos. So make sure you guys keep up the great work and keep cranking out that awesome content.
We can't wait to see what videos you make next week. So we'll see you on the next episode of Up
and Down.
All right, bye guys.
Later.